Tere, ma olen Daniil, ma olen tantsija, treener, koreograaf. Ma hetkel töötan Free Flow stuudios, aga olen töötanud üle Eesti igal pool. Minul on umbes 20 aastat tantsukogemust. Ma olen alati tahtnud tegelikult tulega tegeleda, aga ma ei ole leidnud kunagi gruppi, kellega liituda. Ja üks päev vaatasin ajalehte ja seal oli pakkumine, et otsitakse tuletantsurühma tantsijat. Ma olin üks tantsija, kellel oli tahe tulega tegeleda ja siis ma võtsin selle pakkumise vastu. Sellest ajast saati ma olen tuletantsuga tegelenud. Ma olen kogu aeg tahtnud tuletantsuga tegeleda, sest et tuli ise on mind natukene kütkestanud. Seal on hästi tugev teaduslik aspekt, et palju õppida sellest tulest ja sellel on hästi tugev spirituaalne ühendus inimestel ja vahel isegi minul, sest et mind küll rahustab tuli näiteks siis, kui ma lõkkesse vaatan natuke aega. Ja et mulle meeldib tuletantsu puhul see, et erinevalt nagu teistest tantsustiilidest, kus on nagu väga kindel suund, et ballett peab olema täpselt see, muidu ta ei ole ballett, või hip-hop peab olema täpselt see, muidu ta ei ole hip-hop. Tuletantsus seda ei ole. Tuletantsus on hästi palju erinevaid suundi ja stiile, aga seal ei ole nagu kindlat žanri, mis hoiab seda nagu kõik ühes mullis ja mulle väga meeldib see tegelikult, sest et see tähendab seda, et ma saan tuletantsuga liita kõike seda, mida ma olen muudest tantsudest õppinud. Ja kõik minu kogemused, mis mulle enne seda nagu saadud on, need lähevad mulle kasuks sinna ja ma ei tahaks nendest kogemustest niisama lahti saada, sest ma olen palju vaeva nende nimel näinud. Aga see mulle väga just meeldibki tuletantsus, et seal on nii palju nii-öelda vaimset ruumi selleks, et seda kõike sinna kokku sobitada. Kõige suurem fookus minu trennis õpilastel on tulega õppida tantsima, kuidas kogu keha liikuma panna, mitte lihtsalt keerutus, mitte lihtsalt mõni pilk, vaid kuidas kogu keha panna kõigepealt tantsima ja siis tulega keerutama. Et kõige kergem viis minu arust, et kuidas alustada tulega tantsimist, on pärast seda, kui olete mõned põhikeerutused pihta saanud. Hakake lihtsalt kükitama natukene muusikasse. Nagu te peaga lihtsalt käite muusikaga kaasas ja naudite juba muusikat niimoodi. Ja see aitab teil hakata liikuma. Ja te saate hakata ükskõik mis liigutusi sinna lisama. Te proovige lihtsalt selles samas rütmis sammude ühelt poolt teiselt poolt kolmandale, võib-olla selles samas rütmis kükitate alla, samas rütmis tõusete ülesse ja see on kõik, mida põhimõtteliselt alguses peabki tegema tulega tantsimiseks. Lihtsalt kuulate muusikat ja õõtsute sellega kaasa samal ajal, kui keerutate. Ja ma olen olnud žürii liige tuletantsuvõistlustel, et see oli väga huvitav kogemus. Saime nii teiste stuudio nagu kõige ettemate tantsijatega olla žürii liikmed koos, kui ka saime näha üldse ja üle vaadata kõike, et mis oli meie tuletantsumaastikul kuni sinnamaani nagu välja arenenud. Ja päris huvitavaid lahedaid uusi asju tekkis, mida ma sinna nagu just võistlustel, mida ma ei olnud mujal siiamaani näinud. Olles selle kindla suunaga tuletantsija, nagu ma olen, minu suunaks on just tantsupõhine tuletants. Ja mina jälgin võistlustel kõige rohkem seda ka, et mitte ainult karakterit muidugi, see on meile kõigile alati tähtis, aga minu spetsialiteet nii-öelda seal siis, mida mina peaksin kõige rohkem jälgima, on tantsutehnika puhtus. Et mitte tingimata keerutamistehnika puhtus, vaid just tantsutehnika puhtus. Ja emotsionaalne väljendatus ei ole siis minu jaoks nii tähtis kui koreograafiline puhtus. Ma pigem mõtlen, et need, kes tulevad ja võistlevad niimoodi, et kellel ei ole eriti palju midagi võistlustel näidata, ärge andke alla, ärge heitke meelt, ärge mõelge järgmine aasta, et nad on nii palju paremad meist, ma ei hakka harjutamagi. Just hakake harjutama, saage meiesugusteks, võtke meilt eeskuju ja võtke niimoodi seda pigem, et esimesed kohad, teised kohad, kolmandad kohad, nemad võistlevad selle nimel nii palju ja teevad trenni nii palju. Hakake teie ka lihtsalt harjutama. See on kõik, mida ma tahan. Ma ei taha kedagi ära heita sellest alast. Absoluutselt, mida rohkem, seda parem. Lihtsalt, et ärge andke alla harjutamast. Ohutus eelkõige alati, muidugi, ja seda ma nägin ka nendel võistlustel. Et isegi kõige algajamad inimesed, kes sinna tulid, nad jälgisid ohutust. See on number 1 ja siis, kui ohutus on jälgitud, kõik võivad esineda.
Hi, my name is Karina Valuya. I've been doing my artistic career, or I've been on this artistic path since 2019. Before doing fire dancing, I was actually doing a living statue show. So doing a living statue for me was sort of an open window with a fresh air where I could really express myself and put all my skills that I learned through years of experimenting with my hands and handcrafts. Then one day a friend invited me to perform together in a festival, and she's a fire artist. So I was supposed to make a living statue duo with her and assist her in her fire show later evening. And it was my first time getting really close to a fire dance performance, and honestly I was mesmerized. I was surprised by this combination that she put together, her beautiful costume, the way she moved, this very sensual, touchy sense of body flow and technique and music, everything, all combination really inspired me to try it out myself. But my idea actually wasn't in the beginning to start actual fire dancing with choreos and all this sort of typical, let's say, criteria. I wanted to include fire element into my living statue costumes, living statue performances, which I did start, but then eventually I went to more classical fire acting. The most inspiring thing in fire dancing for me would be, I would say, a play that an actor is playing with a prop that is being an extension of his body, the manipulation and sort of hypnotic feeling that he transmits to the crowd by joining all these things together. For me, the most important aspect of a performance, I would say, is honesty, moreover than technical skills or costume or artistry. A person has to feel what he's doing, right? To be able to do it 100%. And only then after, I would say that, of course, everything matters, absolutely everything. But honesty, that brings you into this 100% of energy of giving. Also inspiring thing in fire show, and actually why I chose a fire show, not something else, is the feeling of connection to something alive, something that hasn't been made or created by a human being, because nowadays we live in a world with crazy, massive streams and incredible amount of information, and people kind of lost the connection with themselves, I think. So by performing with fire, I personally feel that I'm connecting with something ancient, something powerful and mystic, and that I'm bringing it to the crowd, I'm transmitting this energy. So in this sense, I kind of work as a mediator or as a connector audience with this energy. Yeah, for my shows, I'm crafting my costumes myself, and I get my inspiration from ethnic or native cultures of different countries, and I really love creating these unique and fairy tale-ish characters and then bring them with my performances to the crowd, and I'm mostly using recycled materials. That's something that I'm really proud of saying, because I do believe that it's very important to actually use secondhand more than to buy new things, because we have to care for for our environment. And why I chose to design costumes and not just buy them or rent them or whatever, because for me it's also a form of self-expression. So creating a costume, I'm starting to create a character, and then upon this character everything starts to sort of roll around. And yeah, for those who want to explore a fire show world, I would definitely recommend to find a teacher, but not to get too sort of attached. Explore the boundaries, get creative, try out new things, and don't give up.
Yeah. Hey. Hi, my name is Nikita. I'm 26 years old. I've been juggling for more or less 14 years fairly actively. Most active years of my life in fire spinning I would associate from being 12 to 16 years old. That's where I was actively performing in fire theatre. At the times, I would have as many performances as 4 to 7 performances every week. That would be during the summer or towards the Christmas season, where people have more events to celebrate, more weddings, birthday parties, so they would hire fire artists to perform in there. And once I got myself in a fire theatre, I realized how much more there is really to fire spinning apart from just learning tricks and being able to execute them. Up until the point where you start performing regularly, you never really think about what your face looks like when you're on stage, because there's a big tendency of people learning or doing a really cool trick, but at the same time they never notice that their face might be like, and doing things like that as a result. So I started to concentrate on really what that is, working with the mirror, where you have to make sure that your posture is great, that you're looking all good. If you're spinning prop with only one hand, let's say you put second one behind your back, you don't have just leave it hanging out, and all the other bits of general stage presence and how to be a bit more public with what you do and how you present your tricks and what you do. Up until I was 16, it was very, very active. Then once I moved into London, I stopped almost entirely. I have kept practicing for myself, however, it hasn't been like going out to perform somewhere. It was more like practicing like right here in my bedroom, for instance, as I'm quite lucky to have fairly high ceilings, which is a massive benefit, because it stops a lot of people from practicing simply because the ceiling is not too high, and as a result they can never really go for full-on practice. I don't have that much of this problem, therefore I can fully immerse myself into practicing for several hours a day in here. As well as soon as I moved into London, my main goal was to study, and as a result I did not really concentrate on juggling. This was always something as a meditation, as a little bit of sport for me, just to keep myself up. Where, let's say I had a very bad day at work, I come back home after, I'm like, I pick boy up in my hands, I give it a little spin for half an hour to an hour, I relax, I put things back on the shelves in my head, and as a result it really, really helps. London in the UK has got a very, very big juggling and flow arts community overall. There are jams that are happening every Tuesday, there are certain jams that are happening every Wednesday, some every Thursday, some a bit more strict towards what they do over here, so some of them will be very much like a jam. Like the biggest one that we have in London is the spinning jam that is happening every Tuesday, and that is a very free open space, so you can come in there as a beginner, as a very advanced one. It's a jam space for you. Usually it's happening in a very big sports hall where ceilings are not a problem. You can most of the times not even throw as high as these ceilings are, therefore you have absolute freedom to do whatever you want. You're always surrounded by people who are either done something like you're doing right now, or either aiming to be, or they know how to teach, or know little bits and bobs. As a result, you immerse yourself in a very nice community space where not only you're able to explore, but also share what you know and what you want to learn. In terms of the local tendencies, what I've noticed most, there were very strong separation here in terms of juggling or flow arts, for example. With juggling, main roots in terms of traditional, let's say numbers juggling, how it's called, traditional roots would be you pick one prop, you learn 3 balls, then you learn how to juggle 5 balls, 4 balls, you learn how to juggle 5, 6 or more. They tend to be very, very static. However, the level of technical ability that people get to is absolutely insane. People break world records. There are some Harvard PhD students who are in juggling communities, and overall the almost scientific spectrum of the flow arts or the object manipulation community overall is associated more with the technical juggling part of it, where in the flow arts community you get a lot more creative people on the side, where they're able to not only to combine multiple aspects of what they do into one great show, but also being able to explore it in various different scenarios, where they'll combine different things with dancing, for example, pyrotechnics, AI, artificial intelligence, laser shows, and so on and so on. The greatest thing I love about the flow arts community and juggling is that no matter your physical abilities, your mental abilities, you will always be able to find your spot. Whether you're a genius who is able to pick up 5 balls in a matter of 2 hours, which is, hey, frankly impossible, thank God, or you have, let's say, difficulty learning, or you have some physical disabilities, let's say, you would always be able to be welcomed in here, as everybody has a chance to go with it. The whole spectrum of props that there are would always allow everybody to be very included and a part of it. And that's, I feel like, the greatest thing about it. You can always ask people questions and they'll be more willing to answer. I find that's one fascinating thing about the community, because it's still so very fresh and raw. Realistically, it's only about 20 years. Even people who have worked tremendously in the field of the study have developed loads and loads of sections of tricks, traveled the world doing masterclasses. There will still be regular people who you can just come up to and talk to. They'll most likely be more than happy to have a conversation with you, no matter how silly your questions may sound to you, or to them even. In fact, that's even better, because that gives a good ground and basis for the experts to then give you a great opinion onto how to progress to where you want to go. For anybody wishing to start, I wish good luck, patience, and don't forget, at the end of the day, it is very, very fun, and again, very stimulating. So don't be afraid, join us, and let's have fun together.